In order down the column, it is
Machines.
I put my dick in worse.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? How's everyone doing tonight? Kind of a little tail end of our conversation there as we were getting things started.
You're welcome.
This is why you tune in live, right? To catch these sweet little bits.
Little bits and bops and bits.
Little bits and bobs. Hi, Zinny.
Hi, Zin.
Hi, Emilio. Hi, Wolf.
Oh, man.
How are we doing this evening? Oh, we're getting ready for some storms. They're coming.
Ready for some storms coming through.
The storm's coming.
Very nasty, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I know I had a coworker up in South Dakota that was like, hey guys, we're trying to go through some software training, whatever. She's like, cool, I'm, it's 1 second here. I just, I'm getting all these alerts and things like that. And she's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I gotta go pull in all my furniture. And I'm so sorry. Like, my husband's asking to move my car. And it's like, my daughter's texting me saying like, what should she do? And we gotta make sure we have our generator, because if we don't, then our sub pumps won't work and then our basement will flood. And then she's like, guys, I gotta go. Tornado's coming. She had to sign off. I was like, just sign off. It's fine.
It
like,
escalates, yeah.
She's just like, I gotta go.
Jesus. Wow. All right.
Emilio says the power went out several times last night. Yeah, that's never fun when that happens.
Never fun.
That's never a good thing. Nah, we'll see. I reset my internet, so hopefully we don't have any bullshit issues like we did last time, where it was like peaking and valleys and all that other stuff. So
The uncanny valleys.
the uncanny valleys.
Hoyle crap is right, Zinni.
Hoyle crap.
Hoyle
Let's
crap.
go, Noah Reno! Hey, man, I had a lot of fun watching you play Overwatch 2 today. Thanks for
I
streaming.
had a lot of fun watching you sleep, Noah.
Merry Christmas. Because he's always
We're
watching.
showing some signs of being fucking wet.
That's what it felt like to watch you sleep last night.
I always forget about that drop, and that is one of my favorites of all time. That's sus. You know it is. You know that shit's sus.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, what a girl wants.
What a girl needs. Gang, super excited. We'll talk about it again when we go record, but we've got a fan-submitted anime out of context tonight. I'm very excited. The first one is here. I have not read it. Justin has not read it. And we're just going to do a cold read through it. It's going to be fun. Super excited. So
Doug gets to experience what I go through each time.
yes.
It's going to be amazing.
And I've got some, dear God, this shitty anime I'm watching now is just, it's a gift that just keeps on giving. Give me 1 second. I actually got to write a note of.
Okay.
Oops. That's
What's
a little
happening?
loud. That was a little loud. That was a little loud.
Very loud. Don't do that again.
No. Let's
No,
see here.
Doug's writing notes to himself now.
Yeah, about this anime. And I'm basically going to say this entire episode, pick what you want. Because this show is stupid. And I don't know why. I only keep watching it because of the potential content.
How did you get turned on to it?
It was recommended. It was like one of the. It was trending right after Stranger Things on Netflix. Just
Weird,
like it was
okay.
like number one this, number two this. I'm like, all right. I mean, if it's trending, then I gotta check it out. And I'm watching it. I'm like, I don't know if this is a parody of itself, like because
You're
it
like,
references its stuff like a lot. Where it goes, listen here, guy, you can't be bad because you're the main character. And I'm like, are you self-aware?
This sounds strangely like the other one where it's just like, let me explain to you how hit points
See,
work.
the thing is, yeah, it's like One Punch Man is self-aware. It's a satire, whereas this seems like it's self-aware in an annoying way. I don't know, but regardless, I'm gonna be pulling some shit from that. So get ready. And I'm basically going like, gee, which one do I pick? This whole episode could be a fucking nightmare for Justin to read through. I don't know which character do I make him.
I'll just say this. If you want, we can fully commit to this bit and we can do a full read through of the entire episode. That can just be a third of the podcast.
I would love to get some other people involved with that. I think that'd be fun if we got some other fans potentially or whatnot, like, Patreon subscribers if they want to get involved with that.
Oh, now there's a good Patreon
Reward.
I was just going to say thing, but thank you for giving me better words in my mouth.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It'd also be fun if we had a good improviser or someone on. Like having if you get the right guest, just be like, you want to do some cold reads?
You want to do some cold reads of some crazy anime scenes?
Yeah.
Let's give it a go.
Who knows? You know what?
Let's give it a thing. Let's give it a go. All right. Well, I'm excited. You're excited. We're sounding good. We're looking good. Let's get this show on the road. Hitting record and 3, 2, 1. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Mind Gap Podcast. I am Doug.
And I am the one they call Justin.
And I want to apologize because while you're listening to this, it may not be evening.
Oh.
It may be afternoon. It may be morning. And that was highly insensitive of me to assume that you are experiencing the same thing we're experiencing right now as we record this live at youtube.com/MindGapPodcast. Be sure to like and subscribe, support us, and do all that stuff.
It's not good, man. We're kicking this thing off already apologizing. That's not a good sign.
You know what? I think it is a good sign because we're trying to come out on equal ground with you, the listener. We're not above you.
No. We're not even below you.
No.
We're in lockstep with you.
We are. We're
right
together because together everybody achieves more.
That's true.
So we're with you.
This has been Mind Gap TED Talk. Thank you.
I'm sorry, the what?
What? Mind Gap TED Talk?
Hoy, the Mind Gap TED Talk. TED Talk.
Hi. You get the Mind Gap TED Talk.
The Mind Gap TikTok?
Oh,
you can find us on TikTok. Oh, God. This is going to be a good one, I can tell. We got some good stuff. We got some good stuff. So to everyone who has been checking us out live, like the Zinnies, the Emilios, the Wolf's Bloods, the Slotties. If I didn't say Noah, you're going to get again. Noah, thank you all for hanging out with us. Thank you for doing that. For everyone who's watched the show on YouTube and liked and subscribed, thank you. Those who check us out on the audio formats, wherever you listen to this, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, thank you. And to everyone who has rated and reviewed Gods Above from all pantheons, thank you. And if you haven't done that, please do us a solid and do that. It means the world to us. Especially the subs. We are at 197, gang, on YouTube.
Oh, we're so close.
A mere 3 away. Which, hey, let's be honest. Justin tried to steal the 200 a couple weeks ago. He put a lot of his many accounts together and subscribed, and YouTube was like, nah, we ain't doing that.
It got us over the hump, and then the next day, it course corrected.
He immediately was like, these are bullshit. Get them out of here. And it went from 200
all real accounts
right back down to where we were. I was like, I don't feel good about this. So when they did that, I'm like, you know what? That's good. I think that's fine. I'm lawful good. Justin's chaotic good. So
damn right I am. But here's the thing. We're so close. Mm-hmm. So instead of forcing me to game the system, just help us.
Yeah.
Just put us over.
We'd love to get that milestone, the 200 sub milestone. That'd be great. That'd be delicious.
You know what? And the thing is, if we get the 200s, Doug might just he might show some leg for you. He might show a little thigh because he's been working out.
I have been working out, and it's true. So yeah, thank you.
Skin, all I'm saying.
Just a little bit of skin. Like, subscribe, rate, review, all that stuff. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/MindGapPodcast if you want to consider subscribing. Check out our merch, redbubble.com. Check out our Discord. Link is in the description. On our YouTube channel, youtube.com/MindGapPodcast. Our social medias at MindGapPodcast. We appreciate you. We appreciate everyone who's interacting with us and being awesome. We love you from the bottom of our heart. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And to all those folks that have subscribed to us on Patreon, like Tom McIntyre, Richie Armour, Zinni, Solly Bartfast, Almighty Crit, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you. Woo! Wow, that was a really good housekeeping. We got through that real fucking quick.
It was concise.
Mm-hmm.
It was tight.
It was respectful.
It was respectful.
Yes.
We did some housekeeping today.
Oh yeah? What'd you do?
Rearranged a shitload of stuff. We got. Do you guys ever get a wild hair and just rearrange full rooms?
I mean, Jill does, and I'm like, go for it.
Yeah.
she knows that that's not my thing. I don't like to do that. So
I'll usually I'll get pulled in to assist, and then I get invested in the project. So we turned the bedroom around, we turned the living room around, and we got our outside space finally. For those who don't, we got a dog and we got a little one.
stay or go.
Oh my gosh, it's pure chaos in Doug's house right now.
Are you staying?
Oh my gosh,
Okay.
what's happening right now?
Can you close the door for me, girl? Thanks, girl.
Oh my goodness.
Close it all the way, please. Thanks, girl. All right, Loki, you're in here to stay. The dog is here to stay.
I got my dog in here too. Abby and Loki, the podcast pooches.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. So for those who have been following along at home, we are currently in an apartment looking for a house. House hunting is going okay, but I finally got kind of that wild hair, and I'm like, we got these two giant bush tree things out front, and they were getting just unruly, and the property management did not do anything about it. So I went to Lowe's, and I was like, it's time to start building my arsenal of lawn care products. And so trimmed up, I bought some hedger trimmers and trimmed those up, and we did a little power wash to the front and strung some lights, put some patio furniture at so we've got a whole nice new little patio area, fully weeded and trimmed and everything. The best part is that Beth and I were like, we're going to get all of this done today, and like tomorrow a house is going to come on the market. Like we're going to put all this.
You won't be mad about that.
And we won't be mad at like if that's all it took to get things moving, then that's totally
it's like,
fine.
no, I bought things that I'll use later. Okay.
But so we did some actual house cleaning today.
Good for you.
It was lovely, man. Sometimes you just need that little refresher, kind of shake that old dust off.
Yeah, sometimes I like doing getting things cleaned up because I just have a bunch of shit that just is lying around. You can't see it in here, thankfully, but it's kind of a mess. And
your camera angle, if you were to tilt the camera one way or the other, you would see mountains of stuff in Doug's room.
Yeah, it's
piles.
It's not great. I have a box from when I worked at Grubhub, like all my office stuff. That was like during the pandemic and everything like that. Like it's all packed up. I have not opened it. I have been out of Grubhub for over a year. It's just packed up in a box. I'm like, I don't even know what's in there. It's just sitting over there. I'm like, okay. Should probably open that up at some point.
Now, is that when you all left the office and like brought anything you needed home? With
I got most of it, but I didn't get all of it because it was like, hey, we got to go home because no more. And then months later, almost like a year later, I was like, I'm quitting. I don't know what's at my desk anymore. I took everything I needed, so they're like, oh, we'll pack it up for you. I'm like, okay, and then
they shipped it to you.
They shipped it to me, and I was like, I don't even know what's in there, but. Obviously, I don't need it, but
before we came to Michigan, I went to my day job and was like, I better clean this out because I don't know when I'll be back in the office again.
Yeah.
And just put everything on Haig's desk.
Nice.
Yep. So he came and immediately the next day, first thing he called me, he's like, what is all this shit on my desk? I'm like, there's presents for you. So you remember me. His desk was just heaped with stuff.
I love how you knew it was you.
Absolutely. There was no question about who it was. Yep.
You piece of shit. What's this doing on my desk?
Get this shit off my desk.
You piece of shit.
Get off my desk.
Piece of shit. So before we get going here, I want to say thank you to everyone who listened to last week's episode. Justin and I touched on a bit of a hot topic, dealing with the Supreme Court and things like that. And I got a wonderful message from a listener who thanked us for talking about it. And they shared their own personal story, which I won't share here because it's not my place to do so. But, I want to say thank you. Everyone who listened, particularly to that listener, thank you for listening and sharing your story with us as well. It means a lot. We don't like necessarily talking about the serious things in life. But now and again, these things just sort of pop up, and it would be weird if we didn't talk about it. Right. We like to speak from the heart. Most of the time, we're silly. I would argue, statistically, 99% of the time, we're pretty silly. Even when Doug hates stuff, it's still done with a silly frame of mind. And, I just want to say thank you, for bearing with us.
Keep this space. One of our goals is to keep this a space that you can escape from some of the heavier stuff from your day. You can come here and listen to two nerds and two dorks talk about all manner of nerdy pop culture, silly, science-based, whatever, just nonsense. And it's supposed to be a little bit of an escape, but again, there are certain things that come up that just they have to be addressed. We have as people, as human beings, we have a duty to talk about it,
Yeah.
and not that we're experts on anything that we talk about, but just as fellow human beings, there are certain things that we need to address, and that was one last week, and we heard specifically a story from one listener, but a few other people have also expressed, gratitude that it was at least addressed, and it was we were thrilled that you followed us on the conversation.
Agreed. Strap in. We've got another one, gang. We'll get it out of the way at the top of the show because there's no easy way to transition into it or out of it. So we'll just kind of hop into it. I was a mess yesterday during 4th of July, as in Highland Park, Illinois, just north of Chicago. Some piece of shit opened fire on a 4th of July parade from a rooftop, killed several people, injured others, and it was incredibly upsetting to me. All the stuff has been upsetting, and it's one of those things where I haven't brought this up before because it's like, is it going to be weird when we bring it up?
Right.
Because it's like, oh, why are you focused on this one? What about all the others? I'm like, yeah, all of those suck. They're bad.
Yeah.
They're really, really bad. But I think it's just come to like a breaking point for me, to the point where I'm like, okay, I feel like I just need to say something on our podcast that this is fucking absurd that this keeps happening. It's tragic. It's incredibly upsetting. It's endlessly aggravating that no one's doing anything to stop this. Because at the end of the day, because the thing that sucked about it as this happened and it unfolded, it's a tragedy. And I think if we zoom out of the situation, we could look at this and be like, nobody wants this to happen. There's no one that's like, yeah,
Right.
people got shot. They got ambushed. It was innocent people killed during a parade. Like, I don't think anyone's like, woo, yeah. So I think we can all agree as human beings that this was a bad thing. But then all of a sudden there starts to splinter in the conversation, which, by the way, I think that's a huge win. If we're all on the same page, like, this is bad.
Agree with that? Yeah.
That's great, because I think that's 90% of the conversation is like, this is a bad thing. This shouldn't
Also,
happen.
what a low bar to set.
Right?
So,
Well, hey,
pretty
I
low
mean,
bar.
if there's someone that's cheering that on, I'm like, okay, let's separate that person from the pack. And
Yes.
let's leave them out in the wilderness to fend for themselves, because I don't want to, they're not part of my society. I don't want them there. But then the bad takes that were happening after that, where people were making assumptions, they were making bad faith arguments. People were doing the whole like, well, that's Chicago for you. It's like, hey, Highland Park's not Chicago, guys. It is different county. It is a highly affluent suburb of Chicago. It's just everything just filtered down into, oh, I bet this person was an Antifa person. Oh, I bet this person was, super alt-right. I bet, and it was all over the board. People were making assumptions. It was going into these terrible debates that were in such bad faith, and I got sucked down a depressing hole of watching bad takes and arguments on Twitter, which, by the way, don't recommend it for anybody.
No.
It was really, really bad, and it got me into a really, really bad place. And this just keeps happening. It keeps happening. Over the Uvalde one, man, that one gutted me. That one gutted me so hard, and they just keep happening, and it's over and over and over again. And I'm just kind of getting to the point where I think once the pandemic hit, this shit has always been bad. I mean, let me just preface that. Like, these things are awful. They've always been awful. But the pandemic has reset something in my brain where we was talking about having a midlife crisis not that long ago. Pandemic was kind of like the catalyst for that. And now this stuff has really sort of compiled itself on over and over and over again to now I'm like, this stuff just keeps happening. I'm like, I'm starting to just worry about, like Jill and I were talking about this last night. I'm like, so when we go to a parade, are we gonna have to scope the rooftops now? Like, do we have to do our own personal security sweep of a place to, like, we can't, are we getting to a point in our life where we have to really consider weighing the risks of whether or not we'll go to a movie theater? Like Jill was like, honestly, she goes, honestly, she's like, I don't feel like going to movies anymore, because she was downtown Chicago not that long ago, and she saw a guy she didn't recognize in her office building in the lobby area, and she kind of got freaked out because the person was wearing clothes that seemed almost like, paramilitary, but they weren't security, and she's like, what do I do? And this has become an everyday thing for us.
Yeah. Well, Beth has had the store that she works at, they were got there early to open the store up, and it was just her and a few other stores going through a remodel. So there's some construction guys there and some store workers there, but they leave the doors open so the construction guys can get in and out. Well, this guy, young, probably 19-year-old white male, walks in, and he's got a black trench coat on, and he walks up and he goes, "Where's your bathroom?" And said, "Well, we're not open. You can't." And he goes, "No, I'm not going to leave. Where's your bathroom?" And they said, "Well, no, you have to leave." He goes, "What are you going to do about it?" And just what are you going to do about it? Like that, immediately everyone just went on high alert. And it was like, what do we do? He ended up going to the bathroom and meandered, but then left. But you could tell it was one of those things where like, that's how it starts. That's the kind of, you like, it is almost emboldened people to present those challenges. Like there's no reason to walk in like that and present yourself in that manner unless you are intending to put someone in that frame of mind. You're intending to put your audience in that frame of mind. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, but they all had to be on this high alert because they were just like, shit, this is how it goes down. This is how it starts. And Jill seeing someone in that paramilitary attire, like it's just, it's becoming so run of the mill now. It's becoming so, this is what you face. And there is no more safe haven, like churches, grocery stores,
malls,
parades,
theaters,
malls, schools. It doesn't matter. There's no place that you can go where you can be guaranteed the safety anymore. And it just, and the thing that I think kills, poor choice of word, the thing that I think that infuriates me the most is the people who are still touting well, if everyone had a gun, if everyone there, and I'm like, you mean to tell me that it would not have been bedlam if shots started getting fired and everyone on that parade route was also armed? People would have been spraying bullets everywhere. That would have been, there's no good that would have come of that. Yeah. And no one would have stopped it. It would have happened.
No.
You know what I mean? Like no one would have stopped it.
Well, the thing too is, and I don't want to spend a ton of time on this because this is just it's a black hole that we could fall into, but I just kind of I want to make one major point here, in that the argument, actually two that are kind of linked. One being that we are emotional creatures, humans, and a lot of violence happens because we are emotionally compromised. We get agitated, we make poor decisions, right? We see it in every piece of media. And most of the time there's a catalyst in a movie where you're just like, the movie Seven, right? Brad Pitt's character holding a gun, Kevin Spacey, and he hears the thing that sets him off and he gives into his wrath. Like that happens to all of us. And we see fistfights, we see road rage, we see all sorts of violence that people get into when they're not in the right emotional state of mind. And the idea that anyone can also have a weapon, a life-ending weapon at their disposal at any time when they're emotional. It's weapon. Yeah, exactly. At any time when they're in those states of mind is absolutely terrifying to me, because most people are dumb. I'm not better than anybody, but there's a lot of dumb people out there that make a lot of dumb decisions, and I don't want people making a dumb decision while they have a fucking weapon like a gun easily at their disposal. It is a terrible idea. And so anyone who's like, no, I need to have this to defend myself, I'm like, first of all, I don't trust you as an average human. Second of all, I don't trust your training. I'm sorry, you are not trained to deal with high stress situations where you need to be accurate, you need to be calm, and you need to be able to follow the rules of engagement. That's not you. Most police can't handle that, let alone your average citizen who does what? Let's just give you the benefit of the doubt and say you hunt deer. I don't think that's the same thing as dealing with a live fire situation. So I'm just going to say it's a blanket statement. There's going to be exceptions, but in general, the average Joe, I don't trust you with a weapon.
Right.
My second point is to the people that say, well, we should just have our own snipers on buildings and we should have our own sort of like security and checkpoints in schools or elsewhere. To that, I say, fuck you. Like, that is not the solution to the problem. To essentially say, well, the only way to beat this is with more gun power. That does just horrible things to people's psychology. Like, especially in schools. If you're like, well, we'll just put fucking commandos in these schools. Think about what it's like for a kid to go into an environment where there's weapons and there's a general blanket fear of danger and life-threatening enemies, and then you're also trying to learn. Like, those two things don't mix well together. People don't like taking standardized tests. Those stress them out. People don't like getting up and giving a speech. That stresses them out. Now let's add a little bit of baggage of, hey, we've got heavily armed people at this, at the front of the school, just in case anybody tries to come in. Oh, by the way, we're going to do active shooter drills and things like that. It's not conducive. I don't want to go to a parade where we have to make sure we sweep the fucking square like the president's going to be here to make sure there are no bad people and we have snipers set up all over the place. That's not the solution to the problem. Right. Those are the 2 points I wanted to make.
Well, I think, and Emilio says it here. He's like, to sum up what he's saying, basically enough talking about change, fucking make the change. And I think that's what it is. I don't know. And look, we say this same thing every time too. And we won't belabor this point. We'll wrap this segment up pretty soon, but we say this every single time this happens. We're like, how many more times does this need to happen? That's getting just about as old as thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
Like that, the questioning of how many more times has worn out its welcome. And I where I lose faith in everything is the fact that I don't think there ever will be a tragedy large enough to get people to get anyone to move on this. I mean, I understand that there was some, legislation passed and then there was Supreme Court waited on what, like, sure, we've had some minor things being pushed through, but what are we fucking doing? This is the 186th day of the year. We have currently had 314 mass shootings.
We're going for a personal best.
What are we doing?
You think when kids got killed, murdered, you think that would be the moment where people were like, maybe. But when you see people go,
you get groups of minorities, you get groups of religious people, you get groups of children, you get I don't know what's the fucking line anymore, man.
Well, especially when I see random ass people on TikTok, saying like, you're asking me how many kids have to die for me to give up my Second Amendment right? Well, I'll tell you, it's all the kids because I'm not giving this up. And I'm like, what?
Jesus Christ.
What? You would prefer to let people die so that you can own a gun. That doesn't sound fair to me.
Nope.
So with that being said, that's our quick, just honest, from the heart response on this most recent tragedy. That
we don't have any answers. We don't have any suggestions. It's just addressing it and saying, look, we're feeling probably how you're feeling right now.
Yeah.
And it's okay to feel it. And, we're all going to try to keep getting through it together.
Yeah.
That's all we can do.
It's brutal. And I appreciate the opportunity to be honest, because at the core of this show is I want it to be honest, hopefully honestly funny. That's the goal, to be some silly boys
we'll get there. Yeah.
Play some silly stuff. But at the end of the day, like, I also seems incredibly disingenuous. I mean, again, the question of why now, Doug? Why this one? It's like, listen, I don't know. I'm at my breaking point where I feel like now I kind of just have to put it out there. Like, this fucking sucks. This is insane.
Yeah. And
I hope to God we can change this, because I think we're all on the same page that killing people is bad. Killing people, innocent people with guns, is bad. I think we can all agree on that. That is, again, We are 90% of the way there. That 10% is a nuclear bomb that we're trying to disarm together, and it's not going well. All right, but that's what I try to do in these situations. I pull way back and be like, okay, I think we can all agree on the core concept that this was a bad thing. Like, I don't think everyone's cheering this on. We can all be like, this fucking sucks. All right, yes, everybody, this fucking sucks. Cool, like. Now let's do something about this, okay?
Yeah.
And that's where it gets down the bad take lane. But let's start there and be like, this is a tragedy, and let's find a way to be better, because we can be better. And it's hopeless optimism, I think, but let's be better. All right. Amelia, thank you. He says, it doesn't matter when you say it, Doug. It's how you say it and that you say it. I agree with y'all 1,000%. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. All right. So that was.
There you go.
Justin, how was your weekend?
It was fine. We had actually no, it was better than fine. We Beth and I spent a lot of time just kind of hanging out, and we went strawberry picking on Sunday, which was fantastic. I've never been strawberry picking.
I want to
before.
ask you a question.
Please.
If you visited your 18-year-old self today, like over the weekend, and be like, dude, you're not going to believe the weekend we just had, and you told him you went strawberry picking, how do you think your 18-year-old self would respond to that?
My 18-year-old self would have had some choice words that are no longer PC for my current self. I probably would have tried to kick myself in the nuts and said, this is where we go. I don't want this, But then 38-year-old me would have turned to 18-year-old me and just gone, you have no fucking idea. You have no idea how dumb you are. How fucking dumb you are.
Yeah, 18-year-old self has got your guitar going like, that's dumb, old man.
A little baby.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's the right time frame.
Right? You can just catch your ants and march right out of here. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. No, but yeah, so in true old man fashion. But I'll say this, it was I never, I've been apple picking, I've been to, pumpkin patches, apple orchard. Never in my mind was like, oh, berry picking. But man, I tell you what, I had a good fucking time, and we walked away with like 10 pounds of strawberries. Way too many strawberries. Yeah,
There's too many strawberries. What are we gonna do with this?
It's too much strawberries. So no, but I also say this, way better than any strawberry I've ever had from the store.
Nice.
These, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's they do something to them when they ship them and it changes the flavor. These are fucking incredible.
Dude, just wait until you're shitting out your brains. Like, it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
This is all natural.
Health benefits of strawberries. They're insane.
Are they?
Like, they help stave off dementia, cancer. They help with gut digestion. They've got an insane amount of vitamin. Like, it is like, if it's not a superfood, it's like right next to it.
Dude, I tear through. I get 4 pounds of strawberries every week.
Good.
I
Keep
fucking
it up,
tear through them.
They are apparently very good for you.
That and apples. I do an apple strawberry combo. Like, I love it.
You're like a horse.
I am like a horse. I'm like a horse.
Like a horse. No, but yeah, we did that, and I went for a hike with Abby, and just had a really good, relaxing weekend. So it was a lot of fun. I'm sure there's something else we did that I'm forgetting, but at this point, it doesn't matter. We had a good weekend. Yeah.
That's good, man. Good for you.
I will say this. We do this. I think we say this about every year. This is the 2020 edition of it. Fireworks are fun. They're fun to watch, but fuck fireworks. Just straight fuck them right up the fucking butt, because they are, I don't know how Loki takes it, but Abby was scared out of her mind. She was sitting there physically shaking, hiding under the bed. She was inconsolable all night. Like, we got very little sleep, as we do typically in the past. But then you also think about like how it disrupts birds and animals, and like it really is not good for anyone. And then someone posted recently too, people with PTSD didn't even consider that not a fun night for them either, when explosions are going off over their head. So look, I I don't shame anyone for liking fireworks. I think they're beautiful. I really do enjoy watching them. But the older I get and the more curmudgeon I get, the more I'm like, dude, can we just fucking be done with it? Let's pick one night, not 5 nights until 2 a.m. One night, and we get it out of our systems, and then we can be done with it.
It's like the fireworks purge, you know?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the 2020 edition of this. We'll be back next year with the same thing. But that's my hot take on fireworks. Fuck them.
Yeah, I don't think the average Joe needs to be having fireworks personally. Like, I think
again,
I just, again, hey, go to a fireworks show that the city puts on. You're in Disney World. That's the best you're going to get anyway. Like, that's some of the best fireworks shows ever. You're in Vegas, whatever.
Absolutely.
Like, it's New Year's Eve and all that sort of stuff. Fine. But the problem is that it's the entire month of July is a problem.
Pretty much.
Because people will just start fucking firing them off, and they will do it randomly, and it's just it's let's face it, you're not a pyrotechnic expert, gang. You're not. I'm sure it's fun. Listen, I love putting a fire in the fire pit and just staring at the fire. There's something just very, I don't know, caveman like about it. You stare at it, you're like, this is fire, and I'm going to feed it. I will feed the fire spirit. What do you want to feed it? There's so much fun. Dad's like, can I throw this in the fire? I'm like, throw it in. Appease the fire spirit. It's great. I've never actually, I'll say this, I've never actually fired off. I have lit a firecracker before. I was in, I don't know, either junior high or like 5th grade, and a friend handed me a handful of these little firecrackers.
Little black cats? Yeah.
I don't know, the fuses were way too short. And I lit one, and it exploded, and it like shot off like the skin of my upper, like my lower butt cheek.
Shit.
And like my ears, I was like, oh God. I was like, I don't want to do these anymore. And my mom was always like, you're going to blow your fucking hands off. Like, no, we're not doing this. We got sparklers one year, which was great. I got sparklers for Natalie this year. She thought those were great. I'm all for that.
Again, I have issues with sparklers because you're handing a 2,000, like you're handing us a stick of fire to a kid. I never realized how fucking dangerous sparklers were when I was a kid.
Yeah, they are.
Like these things burn at like 2,000 degrees or some shit.
It's like, hey, don't touch it. And they're like, okay. And then they run around with it. It's cool. It's totally fine. But, you know, I look at, fortunately, Loki, nothing's fireworks. Like, it means absolutely nothing to her.
Really?
She's,
oh God, I hope she stays that way.
Same.
Truly, because
same. I mean, the last year we took her up to like a lake in Wisconsin, and just literally right next to neighbors that were firing off. She was just sitting there watching. No big deal. They was just, didn't care at all.
I feel like when we first got Abby, she was fine. And then there's that one year, and I think I've told the story before, but we were walking in Grant Park, and at the top of the stairs at the 11th Street Bridge. So that's for those who are not familiar, there's a bridge that goes over some train tracks on 11th Street in Chicago, and it's about 10 stairs, not that many. And at the top, there was some punks, and they lit off like an M80 when we were walking by. And if she wasn't on leash, I would have never seen her again. Yeah. I've never seen her freak out and pull so hard. And ever since that point, anything that goes bang, even on TV, she starts whimpering, ears go back. So I don't know if it's like doggy PTSD or what, but like that was the turning point when she can't handle anything that goes bang.
Yeah.
I truly hope that Loki never has that.
I'm in the same boat because, you know, it's so funny because my neighbor.
You can do.
I know.
Can't do anything.
You can't tell them. They're like, the world is ending. You're like, it's fine. You know?
Right. Then we sit there like idiots and try to tell, like, it's okay. Hey, it's okay. Come here. It's okay. As if that makes any sort of difference.
They're sitting there like, why aren't you under here with me? You're in trouble too. Like,
yeah.
You know, if we all had a good social agreement that's like, light them up until 9 p.m. on 4th of July. And after that, you know what? We'll say 10 o'clock. We'll give you till 10 o'clock.
You gotta let it get dark, right?
Because that's the thing is it gets, you know, whatever. You know what? Yeah. I'll even give you 10:30. I'll give you till 10:30. But then shut the shit down. Like, shut it down. You're done. We're all done. We're all right. Whatever you have, save it for next year or whatever. Sell it on the black market, whatever you're going to do. Like, we'll just collectively let it go. My neighbor, I saw them like, it was the day of 4th of July. My neighbor came out and was letting her dog out, and the dog was barking, and she goes, you know what? I'm just gonna let my dog out at 5 a.m. because you guys kept me up with fireworks. Here's my dog to wake your ass up. Enjoy.
I love that.
I was like, I'm with you because
I respect that.
I don't care. Like, yeah, I just, yeah, fireworks, whatever. I like professionals doing it. Just like guns, I would prefer professionals to handle them.
Sure. Yeah. I think we can draw some parallels between topics here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Did you see, last thing on sparklers, did you see there was a video going around? And these are the kind of people who win the Darwin Awards. Did you see the guy who put the sparkler in his mouth?
No.
Like a fire eater?
No.
Put it in his mouth. And immediately, it was one of those like gifts that end too quick subreddits or whatever.
Yeah.
He put the sparkler in his mouth and immediately took it out, but it was still like, you could see sparks still in there. And then the gif ended. I'm like, I would love to see how this turned out.
Yeah.
All at the same time, I feel like we don't need to see much more. I feel like we know how that turned out.
Yeah, right.
He doesn't taste anymore.
It's like called perfectly cut videos or something like that. Like they have those cut at the perfect time. You're like, oh.
Right.
Yeah. Also, Amelia said
you're
you're supposed to light sparklers from the bottom of the stem, not from the top. Good to know. I'll keep that in mind for next year. Yeah. Didn't know that.
Does it get hot? I guess because maybe it burns hotter as it goes down.
Well, it gets closer to your fingers, so it makes sense to start there, and then it should burn up away from you.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. Thank you. Yeah,
see?
PSA from Emilio. Light that shit from the bottom, not the top.
I know I have here. PSA from Emilio.
You got it. Light that shit from the bottom, not the top. Thanks, Emilio.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Don't thank me, thank TikTok. I will never
not take
Never. Fuck you.
Nope. Let me reverse this. I don't like that anymore. No. It's no. So Doug, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was pretty good. I went on vacation last week. I went to Galena, Illinois. It's a small town. And had a blast. I didn't do much. But it was great family time. We went swimming every day. Natalie thought that was the greatest goddamn thing ever, which also made me realize that vacations with her can be pretty chill. As long as there's a pool, you're covered. And yeah, she swam, watched a lot of movies, got caught up on a lot of my shows. I walked a lot because it was actually the place we were staying for Airbnb was on a golf course. So there was a lot of great places to walk.
Beautiful.
Which was great. Loki got a lot of exercise, which was awesome. It was just great, man. It was really great to get away. I felt very rejuvenated, very refreshed. And then I came back and I tried a new dessert called Eaten Mess. Yes. It was delicious, man. I made it again tonight because I had leftovers.
Tell me about it.
Jill loves it. Jill is, with that stuff, she's like, yeah, it's fine. But she was like, I made one for me tonight. I didn't want to presume that she would want one, and I put it in front of my place setting, and she was like, oh, I thought that was for me. I'm like, do you want me to make you one? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, I'll make you one. I just didn't want to presume that you wanted another one. Yeah. But essentially, it's you make meringue cookies, which is something I've never made meringue before, let alone meringue cookies. But you make a meringue, and then you put them in a piping bag, and you squirt them out all over the baking sheet, right, with the parchment. You cook them at 200 degrees for an hour, and then turn off the oven and let them dry out for another hour. And you got these light, like little cookies that are meringues, and you can actually just eat them like cookies, or you take them and you crumble them up, so you get the little crunchy sweetness, and then you macerate the strawberries with some sugar. You macer them, you mash them, you macerate them, and then you make whipped cream. And then you do a layer of whipped cream, a layer of strawberries, layer of your meringue cookies, and you kind of do that all the way to the top. And it's like the perfect summer treat. It's very light. It's refreshing, sweet. It's got your superfood in there. You know?
Yeah, it does.
I'm like, this is going to become a regular thing, I think, for me for the summer. I'm going to do some Eaten Mess. And shout out to Preppy Kitchen for the recipe. I watched it, and I was like, I will be making this when I get home, because that's what happens is I get obsessed with something, and I'm like, well, I got to make this now. So it was delicious. Yeah, so
that sounds incredible.
Had a great weekend. And on top of that, this worked out so perfectly, I just finished my 10-week advanced lifting training program. Yeah! Thank
Well
you.
done, Douglas.
Thank
Well
you,
done.
Center, for your endless amazingness. That I can't say this enough. If you're looking to get into fitness, everyone, we are not sponsored by Center, but God, do I wish we were, because I sing their praises anyway. If you're looking to get into fitness, it is a very affordable app that has workouts. If you're looking to do strength training, if you're looking to do burning fat, if you're looking to do any sort of fitness whatsoever, and they have amazing recipes on there. The best recipes for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, post-workout shakes, like all the stuff. And it's founded by Chris Hemsworth, aka Thor, and his amazing team. And like a lot of the trainers that you have, like one of the guys is his stunt double that's used in the Thor movies. Like, they know their shit. They've got yoga, they've got Pilates, they've got boxing, they've got everything in there. Like, you all, like, this thing has absolutely changed my life. It started with Noom. It helped let me get a better relationship with food, and then it turned to this for as far as fitness goes. I fucking love it. And I was really nervous. I was really nervous about the advanced weight training because I did the intermediate one twice, and then I was like, all right, I think I'm ready for this. And it was 10 weeks, and I made it all the way through, and it was fucking awesome, man. Like, and I started over yesterday. Like, so I'm starting it again. I'm doing it again. I'm going all the way through because I want to do it with a little bit more weight this time. So,
dude, I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you.
You're absolutely killing it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm very excited about that. It worked out because you do there's 3 phases that are each 3 weeks. So you do 3 weeks, and then 3 weeks, and then 3 weeks, and then your 10th week is all offloading. So you don't do any weightlifting or strength training at all. It's all just like functional strength, cardio, and stretching. That's all it is. So it happened to work out that week I was on vacation required no gym work. So I was like, perfect. I was
going to ask, like, how do you do that when you go on vacation? But that's perfect. So is the offloading stuff, is that like is that the hit hurt stuff, or?
Yeah, kind of. There's there's definitely 3 days of the hit work, which you have done previously throughout the weeks anyway. So like one day will be just, one of those, and then the next day will be stretching. That's all. And it's like encourages you to do some other like light cardio, walking, swimming, whatever. But it's like, don't lift any weights. Don't do any of that because you need your body a whole week to recover before you do anything else. So it was great. I was like, nice. I fucking brought my yoga mat with me so I could stretch. And I'm glad I didn't have to lift weights because the weight room there would not have worked for what I needed to do. Because most of the time they don't. And I don't blame them. You're not there to be like, hey man, I'm here to do some deadlifts. They're like, yeah, we're old people that do golf.
We're going to bang and clang, man. Let's get it going, brother.
Woo! Yeah, I'm very excited. I was very pleased with that. I'm pleased with the results so far. It's just because not only that, here's the thing I love about this. I think Jared actually sent this to me about it was someone being like, hey man, why do you work out? And the story goes, well, I want to work out because I have 2 nephews and I want to be able to lift them up whenever they play with me. He goes, so I've made that my whole point. He goes, and throughout most of their lives, I've been in good shape. So whenever they come at me, I lift them up over my head and they think it's great. And so do I. And I'm like, that's almost 100% why I do it as well, is so that when Natalie wants me to throw her out of the pool, I can, and it doesn't hurt my shoulder. And or when she's winded. Like, Dad, can I ride on your shoulders? I'm like, get the fuck up here. When we were leaving Disney World during the after the fireworks, and there was just people everywhere. I'm like, well, first of all, I held her on my shoulders for the whole fireworks show. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, this is a test of endurance. This is why you lift right here. Right. I'm sitting there. I'm like, I will not break. I couldn't really focus on the show because it was starting to hurt, and I was like, I won't quit. I won't quit. And I put her down. I rested. I'm like, all right, kid, it's time to get out of this fucking park. And I just, this is why we do it.
Yeah, this is what you play for.
Or we were, I was at my in-laws, sister-in-laws, and they had like this boat that was stuck in a rut. And they're like, they needed help. And I'm like, just working with my brother-in-law, just, yeah. And I got done. I'm like, this is why I lift.
Just start squat thrusting, go.
Stupid shit like that, where I'm like carrying in the groceries. I'm like, this used to really hurt. And now I can do this and I don't worry about it. Like just.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. I want to be, listen, I'm going to hurt. I'm going to slow down at some point. It's going to happen. But for now, I'm like, I'm going to put myself in the right set frame of mind. I'd love to lose some more pounds, but I'm thrilled with just, getting stronger and doing that shit.
Yeah.
So, that's.
I'm going to throw this out there. This is the first time I'm saying it out loud, but I want to say this on air. I want everyone listening to hold me accountable. I want you to hold me accountable.
Okay.
July 25th, I'll be 39. It gives me 1 year. By the time I'm 40, I want to be in the best shape of my life.
Let me say that's a BHAG, Justin. That's a BHAG. That's a big, hairy, audacious goal, and I respect it.
You have to understand too. When I say the best shape of my life, it's not. I've never been that healthy, so that's not really going to be hard to do.
I mean, Justin, your marathon shape was pretty impressive.
I appreciate that. Yes, but that was just slender. That wasn't like I slimmed. I didn't tone. You know
how about this? I want to wordsmith this a little bit with you.
Yeah.
Fit by 40. And
now, what does that
that means? That's a great question, because Jill and I, this was Jill's goal, like back when we were 38. She goes, I want to be fit by 40. I didn't really know what that meant, but this is now, I feel like what I understand what that means. It means having a good, healthy lifestyle, and that includes eating well, not killing yourself with your food,
Sure.
not being like, I'm not happy because I'm eating grass and air.
Right.
But,
I'm eating boiled chicken and rice every day.
Right.
Yeah.
You're like just being healthy with it, knowing, understanding, having a good, healthy relationship with your food and being consistent with it, right? Allowing yourself some treats in there, but not letting yourself turn into Doug and turn into an ogre and be like, I will consume. So good relationship with food, and then also consistent workout, like something where you're just it doesn't have to be every day, but it's a situation where you're like, you have something where you are doing it on the regular to the point where that's why I love my watch so much. Like, hey, this is brought to you by Apple Watch. But there's things on that motivate me, because it's like, right, how many calories am I looking to burn in a day? How many times am I standing up in a day, like hours wise, to make sure that I am moving, because that motivates me to move. What is my exercise minutes that I'm actually tracking every day? And I actually currently have a streak of, I've hit my move goal 263 days in a row. And my goal is to get 365. And I've hit, you get these rings on your thing. It's gamification. I want to close my rings for a year straight.
Love that.
I'm over halfway there. So
when I used to use my Apple Watch, that was the same. If I didn't close a ring, I got real upset.
Yeah. I've been closing them every single day since I've got the watch, basically. Yeah. I think I had one day, the first day that I got, and after that, I'm like, I'm closing these every fucking day. And so that's how I would personally define it. You can take it and go from there. But I would say,
I was going to say, I love how I gave you my goal. You're like, no, here's a better one.
I'm like, I'm afraid you're not going to get there. And you're going to be like, I'm not in the best shape of my life in a year. I'm like, that's also a tall order. You know what I mean? Like, to be like, I'm going to be in the best shape of my life.
Again, it all depends on how you define best shape.
If you commit to the program today and you start today, you never waver for a year.
Yeah.
I think you can do it, but life happens. You know what I mean? So I would hate
life doesn't happen.
Fair enough. I would hate for something to throw you off, and then you'd be like, well, fuck, I didn't get there. I might as well just down this bag of chips, like.
Oh, that is going to happen.
Because that's what I would do, It's like, well, what are you going to do? And there is a demon inside of me, right, that I'm fighting every day. Sometimes they win a little bit. Sometimes I fight them off. But there's a constant hunger in my stomach that I'm trying to deal with every day. And it is a battle. And I have a better relationship with that now than I ever have. And those are the things I look at. When the days where I'm like, ugh, I could have done better, I'm like, you're still okay.
Right.
You're still okay. You're going to make it through this. You're working out every day.
Right.
I'm going to do another celebration here. I just say it's a bragging celebration. I burned 2,100 calories yesterday. Like, that's a lot for me, as far as like, I got up, I did a 4-mile walk, I went to the gym, did a strength workout, and then I mowed my lawn. And that, like that was, typically I get anywhere between, I'd say 1,300 and 1,600 calories. Like, I got 2,100. I was like, fucking A. No wonder I'm tired.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Well, I'll say this too. I'm not saying that I need to have a 6-pack and look like Chris Hemsworth by 40. That's not what I'm saying.
Cool. That's cool.
I'm saying best shape that I have ever been in, which again, if you've seen pictures of me in high school, not great. So it's not like I'm chasing my 17-year-old body again. You know what I mean? Like my 17
that would be illegal.
was doughy
Yeah.
at best. And the other thing is when I was training for the marathon, like you saw how quickly I dropped. Like I know my body will respond to, and that was, I changed nothing about how I ate. That was purely just running.
That's impressive, honestly, that you
yeah.
just put in the mileage and your body's like, all right, man, get this out of here.
Now imagine if I had eaten better, you know? I'm just saying. So I understand. I fully understand it's a tall order. I want it to be a tall order.
Hey,
like that's my thing is I've been while you've been doing this, you know, I've been, you know, vacillating between doing well and not doing well, and I've been going back and forth with you here. And I'm a vacillating kind of guy.
Dirty boy.
And I'm just tired of it. So you, as Emilio says, you know, it's fucking inspiring what you're doing. And so
well, thanks
I want to lean into it, and I want to, you know, my unhealthy relationship with aging and my fear of impending death.
Yes.
I just like to stave that off a little bit longer. So
no, that's totally fair. I actually thought about this little blade thing, but cleaning out stuff, like Jill was cleaning out some of our closets, and she goes, "You want to feel good about yourself?" I was like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "I got some of your old improv dress clothes up here. You want to try them on?"
Did you try them on?
Oh God, yeah. Like I put on some of my pants. I think it may have been one of those pairs of pants from that photo.
Oh, buddy.
And I was like,
you got to take, did you take pictures?
I didn't take any pictures of it. No.
Oh,
but like
man.
I got it in and I was like, this used to be kind of tight around my belly. And I showed it to Nally. Nally goes, "Dad, I'm sorry, but that doesn't fit you anymore." And I'm like, that's a good thing. That's a good thing, kiddo. And I put on the dress shirts and I was like, these things are so baggy on me now. Like they're so baggy. And I mean, the shirt that I'm wearing now, this is one of the shirts that Jill bought for me years ago, and I never wore it because like my belly would be, you know, just pouring out of it. Now I wear it and I'm like, I feel good. I feel confident. And that by itself, weight, everything else be damned. The fact that I could put on these shirts and be like, I feel good and I know I look good. Like, it makes me feel great. It really does. Like I've started to see things just, you know, just muscle wise, like something I never like, just my shoulders in general. Cause I've had a bad shoulder for a while. Actually doing this lifting has strengthened it to the point where it doesn't bother me anymore. And I was worried about that because that seemed counterintuitive. Oh, this hurts. Fucking lift with it. I'm like, that sounds like you could screw it up. But the things that I was doing the right weights. There was like in this advanced program, there's an entire day of the week that's just dedicated to shoulders. So it's anywhere from 40 to 45 minutes where I'm just doing shoulder workouts. And I was like, this could be really, really bad. But I found that it's actually strengthened those muscles now way more than, you know, originally when I wasn't doing anything with it. So just stuff like that. It feels really good. And, you know, Jill complimented me, you know, recently about how she goes, "Doug, you're already fit." I was like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "You have a consistent workout routine. You've committed to it. You're eating better." She's like, "As far as I'm concerned, you've already achieved fit by 40. She goes, "I'm trying to get where you are, where I can be consistent every day." She goes, you go on vacation and you plan this out, like what you're going to do to be active on vacations and stuff. She's like, "You've adapted this to your lifestyle." She goes, "You've done it. So congratulations." I was like, "Oh, thanks." She goes, "I know you're not exactly where you want to be." She goes, "But you've done it." So so when you say like, that's only my concern is just be like, listen, let's do a SMART goal, Justin. Let's do specific, measurable,
I hate that fucking shit.
Achievable, relatable, and timely.
I'm hearing that now.
Know,
oh
gross.
God, I'm so done with SMART.
It's
I wanna be
gross.
dumb.
It's so gross. I was like, I hate goals, so I don't want to do this anymore. But I think that's great, man. And if there's anything I can do to help you with that, if there's anything our community can do, I say, community, let's rally around Justin. Let's give him some support.
Shame me. That's it. That's all I need.
We're not here for shame. What works for you?
Enough.
What motivates you? Because there's the people that are like, you know, I see them in the weight room where they're like, they need someone to scream at them while they're lifting to motivate them. Come on! on.
Yeah.
Spit in my mouth. Come on. Like, I'm always just like, stop yelling at me. I don't like that.
Right.
It doesn't motivate me. Is it someone who's
my
like
mouth.
laying out the logistical things like, hey, man, like this is something, you know, if you look at the math on this and like what you're doing, X, Y, and Z, here are the technical analysis. You know, what is it that motivates you in these kinds of things?
That's a really good question. I don't know. See, what Seth just did for me, that works in so many ways. And I'm glad I'm sitting down during this podcast.
Sly just said, you're a dirty little filthy boy. He's been very naughty, Justin. Is that what you
There
need
it
to hear,
is.
Justin?
That's what I need to hear. Now I want to go work out.
Are you the person that needs to take a photo and share it like every day? Like to, you know, I don't know, like what, that's something to consider. You don't have to answer this now.
I don't have the answer now. I really think for me, it's more of a, I think a lot of it is self-motivation. I say it now. I think what it is I motivate myself by putting it out there and holding myself accountable for it. Like if I fail to do this, then I don't like not coming through on something that I say I'm going to do. I like to hold myself to, if I commit to going somewhere, I like to go to that thing. If I commit to doing something for someone, like I don't like going back on anything that I've committed to or said. My word is my bond kind of thing. So if by putting it out there, that's me kind of throwing it, you know, that's me starting the commitment process already. So
how are you going to measure this, Justin?
On a scale.
Yeah. You doing it every day? You doing it weekly?
I need to buy a scale.
There we go. Step 1, buy a scale.
There we go. We're putting an action plan into place.
I'd highly recommend one that syncs up to your phone so you can track it and you can see trends.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. I probably should get another Apple Watch because I don't know what happened to my first one. So yeah.
No, I got
it was a Series 1 too, so it was garbage.
I'm usually motivated, or I find just that sort of data fascinating. Just seeing those trends in. Yeah. Still trying to come down off the trend of Disney World. I haven't quite gotten back from that yet. Although I gotta say, I didn't eat the worst, but I didn't eat the best on this vacation. I came back. I didn't bring my scale with me. I came back. I'm like, it's pretty reasonable. I'm okay with that. Come back from Disney World. I'm like, yeah, you ate bad, and this is what you get. Like, this is what you get.
The thing is, the watch was a huge motivator for me because when I was running, I would try to do. I'll never forget. One of my favorite things was when I would get home from work and you'd be coming over to record the podcast, and I was like, "Give me 45 minutes," and I would go or no, I think it was whatever it was. I knew that I could run 4 miles doing a 7:45 per mile if I road runnered it where my feet were just spinning, you know, and like I didn't stop. I knew I could make it back in whatever that time works out to be. And so I would always say, give me like X number of, and I would hit the front door. I would go down the lake path and I would turn around and I was doing again, like a 7:45 mile, and I would get back. And I think later in it, when I got comfortable running with my shirt off, you would see me coming over the bridge and I'd be like, hey man, all right, let's go up. You set up the mics. I'm going to shower.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like that, but it was great because I would love to see, like, am I on pace? Can I do better? Can I do a 7:42, you know, or whatever? Like, and so I might need to reinvest in something like that. I feel like that I do think maybe I am data driven in that regard. So
that helps a lot too, because you realize, you know, sometimes a watch would be like, hey, you know, you haven't quite met your move goal for today. Do a 20-minute walk and you're there. Like, just it kind of puts in perspective what you need to do, or it's like do a stretch or do something like that, and that sort of, because that keeps it in mind too, because you know, I know that if I stretch every fucking day because I would die if I didn't. But, you know, like I know that stretching usually nets me about 100 calories, you know, possibly 100 to 125, depending on how long I do it. So like if I'm at night, I'm like, I kind of need to get 100 calories. I'm like, I'll stretch again. Like that'll get me. And that's good for me, you know, or like, if I walk, I have several routes around my neighborhood. I'm like, I'm going to do this quick one today. Like today I was an idiot. And at 12 o'clock, when it felt like 104 degrees, I was like, I'm going to go on a walk. I started going, and I was like, this was a terrible idea. And then I'm like, we're going to do the 2-mile one and get back in 30 minutes just in time, like perfect time before I start being like, this is nasty. You know, just knowing like how I can push myself and what that does if I warm up well enough and then go and lift. The lifting is exponentially better because my body is like, let's really do this. Yeah, and of course, adding the nutrition in there is also the key point as well. So,
Yep.
well, I'm going to say on behalf of the entire community, Mind Gap community, we're with you, Justin.
All right.
We want you to do this. Tell us how we can support you, how we can hold you accountable, and we got you, man. We're going to get you there.
We got a year and 20 days as of today.
There we go. A year and 20 days. Justin is going to be in the best shape of his life. Let's make it happen.
Boom. Timestamp it, mark it, and also fuck every other topic we had apparently tonight.
Exactly. Fuck it. Because now it's time for another of the favorite segment, Anime Out of Context. And this one is special this week. This gang this week, it is super special because this is the first week that a fan has submitted a transcript for the Anime Out of Context segment. I don't know what this segment is.
I just saw the title of the document and I'm very
Yes.
I'm very
I don't know what this is. I have no idea what this is. I briefly so this
Nervous?
shout out to Slotty. Slotty put this together. He's told us for weeks now that he's got he's got something for us, which I appreciate. Oh, Tint says, I want you guys to know that you're special every week. Thank you, Tint. Love you, man. You're the best. Thank you. It means a lot. So Slotty's like, hey, I submitted something. Let me know what you think. And I was like, I didn't want to read any of it. I just go, listen, who's going to play what? Which character? He goes, well, I think it could be either of you. I was like, all right. And then he kind of gave me a little bit more descriptors. I'm like, all right, I think Justin's going to be this one. I'm going to be this one. He's like, cool. Got it. And so this is going to be exciting. So that being said, in the past, I have put these together. I have context of it, but Justin doesn't. So this week I have no context for this. All right. So if you want to be involved with this, if you want to submit this stuff, which I love that this is happening, join our Discord. Link is in the YouTube description below, or hit us up on any of our socials at MindGap Podcast, or email us, mindgappodcast@gmail.com. Submit to us your script. You just have to identify the characters, who's going to be playing what. Give us a little bit of direction as far as like who the characters are, what they do, so we can kind of decide and go from there. And then just we will both wander into it, just dumbfounded, and see what happens. So this week, like I said, comes from Slotty. This is from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which I've heard is a crazy anime. So haven't seen it myself, but Justin is going to be playing AC/DC. It's not spelled that way, but that's apparently how it's pronounced. And Justin, you are going to be playing a 2,000-plus-year-old Aztec superhuman who has all the self-assuredness that comes with being 2,000 years old and never being beaten in battle.
Wonderful.
And I will be playing Joseph. Joseph is young, cocky, typical protagonist. Okay. Here we go. A young man, Joseph, Joestar, is walking through an ancient-looking ruin at night under a full moon. It's almost dawn. It's always darkest before dawn. Now, where on earth is Loggins hiding? I have to stay sharp. I have a score to settle with him. Joseph comes to a statue and looks up to see a man clearly outlined in the moonlight standing atop it with his leg out, and another man at the end of that foot dripping blood. How horrid! It's unnatural. Instructor Loggins, he's dead. The man spins around and Joseph can now see his face. AC/DC. So you came to Venice? So you came to this island?
To think the woman guarding the stone is just an island over.
AC/DC kicks his leg, propelling the dead body of Loggins off onto the ground. He jumps down off the statue and walks off. Internally, his lungs were pulled out. Lungs are vital for Hammond users. It had to have been one swift kick. Joseph kneels down next to Loggins' body. Internally, the tyrannical Loggins. You yelled at me for 3 weeks. To be honest, I hated you. I thought I would finally get you back at you for all you did. But watch me from up there, instructor. See the fruit of your torture. Joseph stands up and turns to face AC/DC, stalking away. AC/DC begins walking over a field of immense spikes, each step sending one through his foot. Joseph runs over the spikes, sparks of Hammond energy allowing him to stay perched atop them. Hey, AC/DC, it's 6 days early, but I'll take it now. The antidote in your nose ring is mine.
Out of my way. I don't have time to deal with you.
Time? You have way more time than me.
That was sharp. I think you've grown smarter. But when someone looks at me like that, they're asking to die.
Joseph dances around on the spikes and curls 2 fingers towards AC/DC, beckoning him to bring it on.
I'll tell you once more, get out of my way. Touch me, and you'll lose half your body.
Make me. AC/DC's hand flings out, and Joseph stops it with a single finger crackling with energy.
What's this?
Well, get me out of your way. I only move if there's dog poo in my way.
I'm in love with this already.
Keep it together, Strandlet. Keep it together.
You gonna read the direction?
Sorry, that's on me. As he's talking, Joseph's finger punches through AC/DC's hand. AC/DC is shocked but remains calm.
His Hammond is breaking through my skin. He's learned so much control in these 3 weeks. However,
AC/DC's hand closes over Joseph's, and his smoking finger sticks out through the back of AC/DC's hand.
I must say your new skill surprises me, but you're still far from ready to fight against me. I met and devoured countless Hammond users like you 2,000 years ago.
AC/DC twists his hand, breaking Joseph's finger.
If I twist and break your finger off, you'll never use it again, like this.
Joseph swings up and over AC/DC, his finger still lodged in his hand, and a thin string circles around AC/DC's arm. Oh, so you finally noticed. Your arm is wrapped up in a fine silk thread. It's soaked in vegetable oil so it conducts Hammond well. I was aiming for your neck, but there was no chance.
How did you do it?
The thin thread traces all the way back to Logan's dead body. It's a little morbid for my tastes. The first blood goes to my instructor and me, AC/DC. As he says this, the thread crackling with energy slices AC/DC's arm off just below the elbow. The arm flies off and is impaled on a spike. 2,500 years ago, a man in China wrote The Art of War. He said this: victory is decided before the battle is fought. That means laying strategies while your opponent is unaware. I skipped school a lot, but Granny Arena made sure I studied history. You may have lived a long time, but you don't have a head for strategy. Take this! Joseph kicks the disembodied arm, sending it spinning on the spike while the flesh disappears.
How dare you?
Oh, are you angry? Are you upset that I disintegrated your whittle arm? Well, then get upset. I'm far more furious than you. Because of that little ring you put inside of my neck, I haven't slept right for weeks. AC/DC's eyes well up with tears, and he begins whimpering. Huh? Tears stream down AC/DC's face.
I just can't take it. I can't take it.
Internally, what the hell is this? He's bawling his eyes out. And I thought he'd go on a bloody rampage. This is more than weird. This is embarrassing. He's throwing a tantrum like some 3-year-old. AC/DC continues to sob and picks up his skeletal arm.
My poor arm.
Some things are creepier than mindless anger. I should finish him off quickly. Joseph starts to move towards AC/DC, and suddenly the crying stops. AC/DC rises slowly.
Ha! I feel better now. Sometimes my emotions overwhelm me when I'm about to lose it, and I try to calm myself by venting with a crying jag. I'm going to take that line again. Ha! I feel better now. Sometimes my emotions overwhelm me, and when I'm about to lose it, I try calming myself by venting with a crying jag. Earlier, you referred to Sun Tzu, didn't you? I knew him personally long ago. I journeyed to China to study. To fight is to duel. All war is deception. Sorry, to fight is to delude. All war is deception. One tries to make their enemy angry in order to lure him into committing costly mistakes. This is precisely what you're planning on, am I right? Well, it's not going to work, but I must say, Jojo, I really am shocked at your improvement. I admire your common ability. I had been longing for a worthy opponent.
AC/DC stomps down on Logan's arm, and it flies off into the air, attaching to the glowing stump that was AC/DC's arm. I guess that last line's yours.
Oh, there it is. It's a bit thin, but it will grow thicker in time.
I love that there's a note here that says probably the best stopping point, and we are going to honor that. There's more, but I think, I think that's a good place to cut it.
Man, this is the thing. This one was a thing.
This was awesome because I have a picture of it in my mind, but I have no idea if it's accurate. I have no idea what JoJo looks like. I have no idea what AC/DC looks like. I have no idea what Hammond energy is like.
The thing that I just can't get over with all of this, the thing it is so exposition heavy. Why are you? I'm presuming that we're seeing the same things they're explaining. Why are we seeing and explaining the same thing?
Probably what you're seeing is you're seeing guys like in a fighting stance, and like the camera's like slowly moving and then cutting to the back of the other guy as they're like talking, and you're seeing shots from other parts of the area and things as there's. Dude, if you think over explaining is bad on this, wait until I put some more of the new shit I've been watching out there. You are going to fucking hate this. It is brutal.
I just like the line that kills me is, so you finally noticed your arm is wrapped up in a fine silk thread. It's soaked in vegetable oil, so it conducts Harmon well. Or Hammond. I keep saying Harmon. Yeah. Hammond well. I was aiming for your neck, but there was no it's just.
Yeah, the whole vegetable oil one, I was like, the most fun with this is trying to keep a straight face while you're reading absurd things. Like, that is my absolute favorite part of all of this.
And then he just goes, 2,500 years ago, a man in China wrote the Art of War. He said.
I love this as a random lie. It's like, get me out of your way. I only move if there's dog poo in my way. Like,
that seems very out of character for whatever this is.
Also, this was really bad, but I wanted to be like, 25 years ago, a man in China wrote the Art of War. He said this, and then just have him just speak Chinese.
Right, exactly.
Be like, the guy's like, wait, what? He just like speaks Chinese for a whole paragraph, and he's like, yeah. And the guy's like, I don't speak Chinese. What the fuck did you say?
I think one of my favorite things about doing this segment too is just picking a voice that does not match what's going on. I'm like, this one's gonna be the my best Phil Hartman from the.
It was perfect.
Hi, I'm Troy McClure.
Right?
I'm like, well, why not? This guy's a 2,000-year-old warrior who's very confident.
Where he does.
Troy McClure.
Yeah, it was Phil Hartman doing Charlton Heston reading Madonna's book. I like my vagina. Just.
Is that something he did?
Yeah, there was like a wonderful skit where they were doing like someone has to do the audio book for this, and they got Charlton Heston to do it, and they're like, dude, he can't say like pussy, he has to say pushy. Like they were trying to edit out what he's saying, and Charlton Heston's like, pushy? You want me to say pushy? You
want me to say
I love my vagina. It was a really good. Really good one.
Oh my god!
Amelia goes. The best part is that the dude Doug voiced is a teenager. So there you go, nailed it. Like,
perfect.
Yes,
nailed it.
And Slotty says your AC/DC was actually pretty damn good for him. So
hey, all right. I'm glad that my take worked.
If there's one thing we learned about improv is you got to make choices. And
you do, yeah.
You just got to see where it goes. So.
Look, all the great, performances in the last few years, you have to make bold decisions, and it may not pan out, but, sometimes they do. Joaquin Phoenix made a bold choice, when he played the Joker.
He did.
Jared Leto makes bold choices all the time. Rarely do they work out, but hey, it's okay.
It's a choice. And at the end of the day, you got to remember, it's Morbid time,
It's right.
Solani, I'm glad you enjoyed this immensely. I enjoyed that you submitted this. I know it's a bit of
Thank you.
it is a bit of work to put this stuff together. I know that as I've put some together, especially if the scenes are a little bit longer and you're trying to truncate and figure out what's going on. But so I appreciate the effort. That is amazing. This was a ton of fun. Please, if anyone else wants to contribute to this, we're all ears. Like, hit us up in the Discord. Email us at mindgappodcast@gmail.com. I can't wait to do more. I've already got a couple more lined up from the batshit stuff I've been watching recently, so get ready, y'all. It's going to get crazy.
Hooah.
Hooah. All right, so...
And if someone wants to take on the task of reanimating what we're doing, please feel free.
Yeah, if someone wants to
I'm just throwing it out there.
take our voices and do an animation of the scene with our voiceover, please. Holy shit. That would
you
be
can
amazing.
do your own animation of the scene, or you
Sure.
can overdub our voices to the actual,
Yeah.
whatever you guys want to do.
Be
It's your
creative.
creative freedom.
Right.
Be creative. Yeah.
Exactly. Or if anyone wants to animate any part of our show, like,
Sure.
amazing.
Stop motion, animation, whatever.
Great. I'd love it. It'd be
Flip-
amazing.
Yeah.
We'd love you forever.
Absolutely.
All right, Justin, what do you have to recommend for this week?
I'm going to recommend, it's a Ryan Reynolds film that came out a while ago on Netflix called The Adam Project.
Is that you're recommending it, so it's got to be good.
It's not going to change your life, but it's one of those that when in an interview he talked about why what his goal was when making this film, and he remembered watching like the old Steven Spielberg movies and some of the Star Wars, like some more of the fantasy, family friendly fantasy movies that he watched with his dad or whomever when he was a kid. And he wanted to, he's like, I wanted to make that so kids could watch it with their parents, and the parents would get something out of it. The kids would like, there's a lightsaber looking thing in it, and it's spaceships. And so he wanted to make something that bridged the gap between adult and kid, family friendly, but was also entertaining. I think he hit the mark on it. It was not by any stretch of the imagination like a mind-blowingly amazing movie, but it was a lot of fun, and it was a very easy watch. Like it's I think it's an hour and 40 minutes. It's not the Adam Project. Let me just see what the actual runtime is on it. It's not a big lift.
Okay.
And so I would definitely say if you've got the time to throw it on, it's a lot of fun. It's
Do you think Natalie would like it?
Gosh, I don't. That's the thing. It's that I don't know where her interests are right now. Like I know she's into dinosaurs. This is very far from that. I don't know if that's
there's not a single dinosaur in this movie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she likes Marvel movies. She likes.
I do. If she's okay with Marvel movies,
she likes some Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, some of the action gets a little intense, but if she's gone through like Endgame and stuff, then it's no more intense than that.
Okay. I might add that to the list then once we get through all the Harry Potter movies. I might do that.
Some choice language, a couple shits in there and
whatever. She's watched Ready Player One a bunch of times, and she loves the part where the guy goes, "It's fucking Chucky," So
yeah,
where he's just like, don't say that, okay?
Yeah, I think she might be at the age now where she can appreciate like being a kid and how cool would it be to get drawn into.
Yeah.
Like she might identify with the kid in there. And also I got to say too, the casting that they did, I don't know who this kid is, but fucking A, did they do a bang up job casting.
Nice.
Because he's supposed to be 12-year-old Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, nice.
And this kid's incredible.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to add that to the list. We do Friday night movie nights for family night movie nights on Fridays. So
sure,
I'll add that to the list. I like it.
I'm hoping. This one I'm worried about, but I'm hoping it hits. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
What do you got?
It's hard to say. I watched a lot of stuff. Some of the things I'm going to reserve to talk at a later time. We have some stuff lined up for that. I would. You know what? It wasn't incredible, but I enjoyed watching it. Spiderhead on Netflix. It's the one with Chris Hemsworth, Miles Teller. It was interesting. It was an interesting concept. What's that?
I was going to say, you and I either need to do this on an episode or talk offline because I have questions and thoughts and opinions on it.
And you've seen it?
I've seen it.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
I would recommend it because I think it's it's intriguing. It's an intriguing concept. It's not groundbreaking. It's not going to necessarily blow your mind. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a cool. It was interesting concept. I love Chris Hemsworth in it. I thought he was fantastic.
Yes.
Unique role. Instead of, he typically plays the hero. He's not the hero in this one. But it was interesting. It was an interesting sort of concept. So I check it out on Netflix. It's again short. It's not a huge epic or anything like that. Worth a watch. I think it's okay. I think I enjoyed it. I didn't feel bad after it was over. I'm like, yeah, that was good. I'm glad I watched it.
It didn't feel bad. There's the measure of a good movie.
Oh, if you feel like you've wasted your time, that is the worst. That is the absolute worst. Like, don't waste my motherfucking time.
Yeah.
To quote Al Pacino.
As Sam Jackson always says.
That too, yes.
Yep.
Great. So check out those recommendations. And please check us out on all of our social medias at MindGap Podcast. You can email us at mindgappodcast@gmail.com. Please rate and review wherever you're listening to this. Please like and subscribe on our YouTube channel and share our shit out. Get our stuff out to the rest of the world. We'd greatly appreciate it. And don't forget to follow Justin online as well.
On Instagram and Twitter at Justin_Michael, spelled Mikel. It's the fun way of spelling it. And while you're in the online realm, check us out on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcast, all the places where you can find and consume quality podcasts. You can find and consume us as well. We'd love it if you would share us around, rate, review, all those things. One of the big ones is sharing. Sharing is caring. So please copy the link, send it out to your social network, and let people know that we exist. Means a lot. And then 2east8th.com, and keep an eye on all of 2 East 8th's social medias.
Awesome. So once again, to friends, and let's say it, you're our family. You all are our family. We're glad you're here. We're glad you spend time with us whenever you do. We appreciate you. The door is always open. Come on in. We'll leave the light on for you. And with that, Justin, thank you.
Douglas, thank you.
Chat, thank you.
Listeners, thank you.
And you all have a dandy fucking week. Should have saved that for Halloween.
We can bring it back. It's a reoccurring character.
Right, there you go. It's just a weird guy. Just a weird guy.
It's the guy who might have had a stroke.
Maybe.
He's got a wobble voice.
Yeah. That or he's, finishing up having an orgasm.
There it is. Yeah.
At
It's
work.
Vinegar Strokes guy.
Yeah, at work.
At work, yeah.
During a presentation.
And that's our projected EBITDA.
Oh, shareholders going wild. Don't forget to do your peer review submissions. Oh.
Make those goals smart.
Smart goals. Yarg. Hey, thank you all for tuning in. Seriously, you're all our best. Zinni, Emilio, Wolf, Tint. I said that aggressively. I didn't mean like that. Tint. Thank you so much. Noah, thank you. Slotty, thank you for the anime out of context.
Endless thank you.
So fun. It's everything I hoped it would be. So thank you. We are doing a stream this Saturday since I'm not on vacation. It's Slotty, me, Noah, and Alpaca are going back into Magica, baby. The fearless magical foursome is going to go in, and we will most likely be doing hopefully unintentional harm to one another. I know last time we did it, Noah created a healing rock that destroyed Slotty, exploded his entire body. So we'll see what happens. It should be fun. This game is pure chaos.
Was not that healing.
Right? That game is pure chaos, and I cannot wait to play it again. So I'm very excited about that. So, and also, for all you cool people that are listening live, we've got an awesome guest coming next week. A little spoiler alert for you. We have a former improv guy that Justin and I did improv with. And this guy, his name is Danny Giovannini, and he is a writer on SpongeBob SquarePants. Just recently was the head writer for a couple of episodes, and he's been at Nickelodeon. He's been writing on the SpongeBob team for the last 7 years. Oh. So we are super excited to have him on the show. So if you're interested in that sort of stuff, if you're interested in writing, this guy is an excellent writer. Come on in, hang out. He's a great guy, very kind, very funny. I'm super excited to chat with him again. So tell your friends, come hang out. It's going to be fun. So that's next Tuesday, y'all. So tune in. All right, gang. Well, until then, I will see you on Saturday. Keep being cool. Keep being safe. And I'll see you on the flip, y'all. Toodles.